Welcome to day 2 of my bike packing adventure. I know I'm in a car. If you're wondering why, let's go back to yesterday morning. I froze last night. I didn't get hardly any sleep. Got down to the upper 20s, which I was not anticipating. And my body is beat up. I'm a bit sore. I still have about 60 miles to go. So I'm going to postpone the trip for now and possibly come back and do the other section. But that's not to say that I'm not proud of what I did. My accomplishment that I did here, climbing 3,000 feet in the span of a day, is something I have never done before. And it kicked my butt, I'm not gonna lie. But I got Renee in the way. She's gonna bring me some hot coffee. And until next time. I decided to call Renee and have her come pick me up. Went to REI, I got a Thermalite liner for my sleeping bag, new water filter because my old one was kind of on the fritz. So we're driving back up to Placid Lake State Park, where I will be dropped off right where I left off, and we will head up to Blackfoot Clearwater gravel trail. And I got about 27 miles to go to my next campsite. Man, does it feel good to be back on the trail. We're off to the Blackfoot Clearwater Trail. It's about 33 miles to the main road, but we're going to try to get to Gold Creek today, which is about 27 miles in. I'm very excited for this. It is a very cold morning. It's about 42 degrees with a high anticipated up to 70. Coming up to my turnoff right up here, and then we're going to start climbing. I've got a little over 4 miles of climbing to do, and then it'll be partially downhill. It is a gorgeous day to be on the bike. Look at all them lily pads out there. And the climb has begun. One thing that seems to be a consistent message and teachable lesson on this ride is gratitude. Become thankful for everything. Not just things on the ride and pretending to that, but grateful for the people in my life. I appreciate all of you. You've been instrumental in getting me going on this ride, and I appreciate you following this journey. I wish all of you could be here because this is an amazing experience. I wish I could spend the time to talk individually about everybody that's been a huge part of this, but that would consume most of this video. I'm very thankful for all of you. Slow and steady. During this ride, I've really come to appreciate the slower sections of the trail. It gives you time to slow down, even though we're just at a pace that's a bit faster than a walk. It's kind of an analogy for life. Sometimes it's important that we stop, slow down, and really take in the experience. Often we move way too fast and we miss great moments altogether. Look at this beast of a hill that awaits us up ahead. Facing these hills, it's a lot like life. Sometimes we're forced to slow down even though we don't want to. And sometimes, like now, it feels like we're not moving hardly at all. But the important thing is we're still moving forward. We're still keeping that momentum and we're not giving up. It may seem like you're never gonna make it, but eventually you get there. And then it makes all that work completely worth it. One of the biggest motivators for me was discovering a YouTube channel by Ryan Van Duzer. During the pandemic, he had rode almost all of the Great Divide mountain bike route and filmed the entire thing. And I thought to myself, I love to film my hikes. What if I got into that? You still get beautiful countryside, but you also get to cover it at a much quicker pace. So I began the process of biking and realized how much I enjoy it, and remembered that I always told myself one day I want to be able to ride up hills without stopping. Well, I'm still not there, but I'm getting close. Oh, that is a gorgeous stretch of flat road. So thinking about some of the mistakes I made late yesterday, I reminded myself that I should stop, even though I feel like I can keep going. Take a quick break, get something to eat. And this is a beautiful spot here. So it is a bit trickier getting on and off the bike with all the weight on it. I'd be interested to know how heavy this thing is. Look at that view. That is beautiful. You can see the Swan, the big mountains in the back. That's the Swan Range. That's the range of mountains we were on the last video. All right, I've admired the view long enough. Time to head out. All right, by my estimates, I have 5 miles down, 17 to go. Okay, I'm starting to think this elevation chart is wrong. According to it, I should be going downhill, but I am still steadily climbing. And still heading up. As you can see, we're still climbing, and it has gotten hot. So I'm gonna ditch this sweater. Just in case you're wondering how hot it has gotten. That is sweat dripping from my face. All right, much better. Let's do some more climbing. I'm hoping to get a break from these uphills pretty soon. Okay, the lesson for today is don't trust a map. I am well beyond the point where I should have crested this, and I am still steadily climbing. But on the flip side, the views are absolutely amazing. Sun beating down on us. Oh, glorious flat stretch of land. All right, so there are a lot of roads here. And according to our map, we're going behind the gate. So I purchased these energy blocks, and they're not bad. I'm not sure what the energy benefit is, but it's a very tasty orange gummy. Delicious. So just over 7 miles right here, and it's been climbing about the whole way. There have been some good flats, but man, we just keep going up and up. That lake you see down there, that's Placid Lake. That's where we started this morning. So crazy to think, on the first day's ride, I was all up in there. I feel very blessed to be here right now. I'm very thankful. Not many people get this opportunity. All right, so right here we are at 5,253 feet in elevation and 7.82 miles in from Placid Lake. Looks like we got a little bit of downhill coming up. Oh, this is a nice change of pace. Good old downhill. No pedaling necessary. Love me a downhill. Oh, that was fun. It wasn't too long, but it was definitely a welcome change. I'm gonna be honest, I was very reluctant to follow through with this trip. Right up to the night before, I was coming up with reasons not to do this and not to follow through. But once I got on the bike and headed down that trail, everything made sense. And I knew I was meant to do this trip. It makes me think about all the opportunities I've missed out on because I convinced myself that I couldn't rather than I could. It's a bad mindset to be in, but I find myself in that far too often. The funny thing is, I find a lot of reasons to do things I don't want to do, but so few reasons to do the things I love. In a way, I think we neglect ourselves in regard to what we have to do, but we don't nourish what we want to do. Got to a straightaway. It's kind of nice, straight flat land. I've been traveling with about 50 ounces of water, and usually I get to camp well before I exhaust that. Of course, that depends on how hot it is and whatnot. It also helps to have these available. These are electrolyte tablets. They come in pretty handy. They're like a lighter, less syrupy Gatorade. I really enjoy them, and they help to give you kind of a little bit of a boost midway. There are a lot of beautiful flowers on this ride. Could it be? I finally reached the downhill. We've reached another spectacular vista. Views get better and better here. It looks like I'm in for a long downhill. This area has been freshly logged, and I'm sorry you're not here because the pine smells amazing. To touch on something I mentioned earlier, you don't have to be in the best of shape to do this. You just have to be able to ride a bike. At the beginning of this summer, I was in no shape to do this. I rode my bike quite a bit, almost every day. I logged over 100 miles in the month of July because I knew this was something I wanted to do. And then I just kept at it. Now, that doesn't mean I'm in shape for it right now, because I'm certainly not. I have walked more than I'd like to admit up these hills, but I keep persevering, I keep moving, and I keep going toward that goal. Anybody can start. I can't stress enough. Stop making excuses for what you can't do and start looking for reasons for what you can do. I'm very happy that the majority of this feels like a gentle downhill. Hardly any pedaling involved. This part of the trail is very overgrown. Makes me think of the time I was off-roading with Gene in Florida. At least this is all downhill. And it is really thick in here. Today's unexpected adventure, missing the turn. I've been constantly checking trail forks to make sure I'm on the right path. And I didn't see the turnoff I'm supposed to take. So I'm heading a little ways up to find it. Well, it's no wonder I missed it. I went up that way, and I should have went that way. Good thing I caught my mistake early. Whew! That would have been bad. We came out to a bridge and a creek. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, this is beautiful. So beautiful. First things first, we need to filter some water. So for this, you just take the lid off, keep that somewhere clean and sanitary. Screw your bottle on. I say it's lunchtime. What's for lunch? Peanut butter sandwich. There's my bread. And there's my peanut butter. The good thing about filtering from a mountain stream, it's icy cold. Goodbye, Paradise Bridge. I traveled 21 miles and that was the first source of water that I'd come across. It is so beautiful back here. What a privilege. Back on the actual gravel road again. Heads up, got a low-hanging branch. This road is beautiful, but I am ready for a downhill. I've been climbing, it feels like, all day. I think I may have underestimated the distance to camp. This has taken a while. I don't believe it. For the last 4 miles, I've been steadily going uphill. And I finally have a downhill. Look at that beautiful open valley and that beautiful downhill. No pedaling. Oh, this is nice. I feel like we're on the home stretch. I had to slow down because I wanted you guys to see the view that I'm seeing as I'm coming down this mountain. I think I have arrived. There's a creek down there. Nice trees over here. This is home tonight. There's a creek running over there. I'm gonna get the tent set up, go filter some water, come up, eat dinner. I need to filter some drinking water. And then I'm gonna cook some chicken teriyaki. Beautiful here. This is more of a primitive camping. We don't have a table or set up, but we have water and fire ring if we could use it. And that's about all I'm gonna need. A couple trees, some water, I'm good to go. Today's ride was rough. It felt like I was climbing uphill the majority of the way. But man, that last downhill to this creek, that was amazing. That was like the home stretch. It was a very welcome sight. Looks delicious, doesn't it? So a side note on the hammock, I can definitely see an advantage with a tent. The thing took forever to set up. And on top of that, there isn't a tree here not covered in sap. That's gonna be fun taking it down in the morning. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it's all of the calories I burned today, but it's really good. Camping makes me think of my dad. It was one of his favorite things to do. I remember as a small kid, we'd come home from school on Friday. He'd tell us, we're heading up to High Falls. Pack up the Isuzu truck, load up in the back, and go camping for the weekend. Those are some of my fondest memories. In a way, with all those camping trips as a kid, he inspired me. He's the reason I enjoy this, the reason I love it, and I miss him a lot. Well, it's been an eventful day. 31.73 miles traveled and 3,146 feet of elevation climbed. It was a very challenging trail. I'd say it's almost more challenging than the first day a lot of uphill, especially right before the end. Just kept going up and up. But overall, it's a beautiful trail, and I'm happy I did it. I'm about 7 miles from Highway 200, and I'll hit that up tomorrow and should be back in Missoula.